real sets really do give you an understanding of how fantastical this world is. Like when you set foot into the Stormwind throne room and the doors are 60 feet tall and the throne is 30 feet tall, it just makes you feel like, wow, this is madness.
This is really the high wire act of filmmaking. Vast numbers of large, beautiful, incredibly detailed sets, vast amounts of wardrobe that was required. And Maya's Rubio, who did our wardrobe, her work is superb.
When you have the discussion about the costumes, you realize that they have to be much larger than life. There's all sorts of dynamics to it that just take it to another level.
What is it? The boomstick.
It is the biggest weapons build I've ever done. There's probably 180 swords, shields, spears, halberds, pole axes. It just goes on and on.
It's beautiful. I mean, some of these things are fantastically made. You look at this halberd, you got the crest of Stormwind on the head of it. Look at this. This is a real thing. This is so exciting to me in so many ways.
These are the tents that our orc characters live in Draenor and the Black Morass. Draenor is a very dusty, deserty, desolate environment, which is basically a refugee camp for the orcs trying to escape their land. The challenge with Draenor was basically to create our tents, our various levels of yurts. It was based on the structures you might find in any nomadic country from east of Asia to North Africa, but it just had a different scale to it. And one of the things that is quite big in Draenor are giant animal tusks that the orcs have gathered over their lifetime. So we use this as a strong motif for building the orc world.
This won't take long.
I'm Bill Westenhofer, Visual Effects Supervisor of Warcraft. We're looking at Easter eggs in Stormwind Market, and one of the ones that's hidden all around are the signs that you see. Fragrant flowers are where people can go to get their various potions and other components that they need to make. Protective Hide is where you go to sell your leather goods and buy and sell and learn your leather craft. And here we have the Honest Blades. This is a place where you can offload junky weapons and armor as opposed to the big, beautiful ones that you see our heroes walking around with. This is a signpost that you actually see in game. In the game, you come here, you click on it, get certain quests to go march you off on your various adventures in Azeroth. Here we've put a lot of little special nods to people that they might recognize. This here is a mailbox, something that anyone who plays the game would be used to. You can pull everything from a literal piece of mail to an entire dragon out of your mailbox on a daily basis. From a visual effects standpoint, we build as much as we need to film practically, and then visual effects goes and extends the rest. Behind me, we have the bottom third of the statue of Medivh. This is the spot where Medivh actually stopped the troll attack on the first attack on Stormwind City, and as a result, the people have given him a statue in his honor. We're talking about Easter eggs on the Warcraft set, and moi, I'm one of them as well. I'm standing in Stormwind, I get to be in Stormwind. It's pretty dang cool.
The throne room was another of the big game environments that we knew we had to do, and obviously being a throne room, it was quite an important piece of architecture.
We need solutions! Enough! You have all called on Stormwind in the past, either for troops or arbitration.
One of the challenges was that the game world had very big pieces of architecture, very big doors, and quite ridiculously sized columns and column bases. And I think we achieved that sort of grandness of the game without the set dwarfing our actors.
It has been too long.
These models here at the energy chamber, which is one of the finale moments in the film. We started with the concept arts, and at the same time we were also developing these three-dimensional models, the architectural details we've taken from the game. This is the Caravan Tower. The energy chamber is this little round section at the top. To fit in the stage, we decided to squeeze it so it became more of an oval shape than a circular shape. And actually the dynamics of the axis worked better than the circular version.
24 Jackson, take 3. See camera.
Cut. And we're basically looking at our fell orc, so we're kind of just pushing in like that, just to take us to the table. And then tilting up to you. Okay. Seeing it, so that's your reaction. That's your reaction to that, and then carry through to the head snap to where the fight's.
A little bit of that, just remove things.
For years, our world has been at peace, but something is coming. I can feel it.
Our world is dying. If our people are to survive, we must make a home here.
Warcraft is a huge-scale movie. This is really the high wire act of studio filmmaking, and we have ILM, the Tyrannosaur of CG work, in our corner.
We'd love to cast orcs and 7-foot-tall creatures, but they just don't exist. So we knew we had to go to visual effects, and ILM was top on the list.
Find these beasts, whatever they are.
Number one challenge on this film has got to be nailing the orcs.
We had to create a whole race of orcs that had to hold their own against the live actors in the film.
The body motion capture was pretty traditional for us, but I think we really broke some ground with the faces. The first shot that we delivered was a close-up on Duratan. Very subtle, and yet there were important moments there to bring the character to life. It was really our way to show all the filmmakers, yes, we can pull these orcs off. And when they first saw it, they were floored.
You could see his eyes responding, just these little subtle movements, and it felt alive. That was just an amazing experience.
Hair is one of the most difficult things you can do in computer graphics, and we actually built one tool that we called Haircraft that was custom software specifically all about grooming hair. The variety and the depth of what we did for this film, as far as really complex environments, crowds, characters, compelling performances, magic, creatures that we got to create. It's really a dream come true to be able to work on.
ILM have an incredible history of work that they've done. They're on the cutting edge, are pushing what's possible. They're pretty epic.